Story time, people. People tell me I'm mad, but I think I still have a lot of ways to go. Just like the boy in this story. My first story. My first endeavor. Oh, why don't we let the boy's father tell you himself? I was a single father at the time. My wife had been a narcissistic madwoman who wasn't capable of taking care of herself, so our divorce was more or less a blessing to me. When we had separated, I was granted custody of our young son, who was my entire life. During our marriage, my wife had complained that I spent too much time doting on him rather than her, who apparently thought she deserved acknowledgement. Having that witch out of my house and away from my boy had many advantages to it, but it was also a disadvantage. I was working all the time, so I would hire a babysitter or call my parents and see if they could watch my son. I usually try to get my parents to do it, but every now and again I had to settle with Marcy, the only babysitter who was ever available on short notice. I never particularly liked Marcy, as she was always a bit of irresponsible. Marcy would often spend most of the time babysitting on the phone rather than paying attention to my child, and every time she would see my car pull in the driveway, she grabbed her things and left through the back door. She was a pain, but she was all I could get. One night I stepped into my home and I called her name, but there was no answer. I assumed she must have left through the back door again, so I paid no attention to her lack of answer. I walked into the living room and saw that at the top of my stairs was my son, still in his pajamas. "Hey, sport," I called to him, before noticing the look on his face. "Something wrong, son?" "I had a nightmare, Daddy," he told me, before running down the stairs to hug me. "It was so scary." "What happened in it?" I asked him. He hugged me tighter. "I was walking down the hall when I heard the sound of Marcy humming downstairs. I hid in the dark at the tops of the stairs where she couldn't see me, and I spied on her doing her homework in the kitchen. After a few minutes, the pantry door behind her opened slightly. She was listening to her music thingy, so she didn't hear it. Out of the pantry, there was this naked monster with tiny little black eyes." "Go on, son." "Well, the monster man watched her for a long time, and he waved his hand in the closet in the living room. It opened, and another monster man came out. She was focused on her homework and her music, and it was so dark she couldn't see him. The two monster men watched her for a while, before the second monster waved at the window. The curtain was pushed away, and there was another monster man behind it. Marcy didn't see him either. So the third and second monster man waved at the basement door, and two monster men came out. I was so scared, Daddy, but I tried to be quiet, and none of them saw me. They all watched Marcy for a few minutes before one right behind her started growling. She didn't hear it. It growled louder. She made a face and blinked. I was praying that she didn't turn around, Daddy, but she did. She screamed and cried and screamed, and all the naked monster men ran up and started attacking her. They ripped her into pieces and ate them all. And when they were done, they licked up all the blood on the floor, and they all gnawed at each other. They went back to where they were before, in the pantry, in the closet, behind the stairs, in the basement, and I just sat up at the top of the stairs. I was so scared, Daddy." I pulled the boy closer as he softly began to cry. I gave him a soft kiss on the cheek as I tried my best to comfort him. "Then what happened, son?" I went to leave and get the neighbors to help. I thought that if I ran fast enough to the door, they wouldn't catch me. I ran as fast as I could, but they all jumped at me. They were so scary. They grabbed me and were about to eat me when... What happened, son?" He stuttered as he attempted to weep out the rest of the tale. "You can tell me anything, son. What happened?" I stroked his hair as he began to compose himself. I told them that if they let me go, I would stall you when you came home, so they could get you too, and spare me." All was silent for a moment, and in that moment, I could hear a series of doors opening all around the house. The son buried his face in my chest. I'm sorry, Daddy. We spared him, alright. And now he's with us now, under my wing, learning all the ropes. Trust me, people, you'll be hearing from me and him again real soon. Toodaloo. Stay alive.